Welcome back to another episode here on Under Construction SA. I'm your host with the most, standing in for Lamlelo. She'll be back real soon. She'll be back real soon here on Under Construction. Today I have an absolutely amazing mogul. Her name is Lesego Pooe. I'm so excited to have her because I've always seen you. You know, you're one of those people who you always see. You know, you fill up space. So I'm really, really excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
I am so excited to chat to you. And I think maybe the reason why you see me is because I am so present on social media. So you cannot miss me.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's good
Now,
to be here. And I'm looking forward to the chat.
yes, for someone that is joining us, that doesn't know Lesego Pooe, what is she all about?
Well, Lesego is I call myself a mogul because I believe that's who I am and that's what I'm about, and that's the office in which I'm called in, the office of an influencer, someone who is not an influencer as in like Bomihlali. No, I mean
No,
someone who
no,
someone
we get
who
it.
is someone who's highly influential in her field. And so I'm a pastor, and that is my job, that is my career, that's what I've been called into. I'm a cricket broadcaster. I love everything that's got to do with cricket, and but the one thing that I enjoy about being in cricket is that I get to stand in front of the mic and talk all things cricket. So that's what I'm about. A cricket lover, I follow it, and I'm a media person on top of that.
Yes, I think the one question that's on a lot of people's minds, like, why cricket? You know, cricket is such a, you know, I don't know how to describe it.
Sport.
Yeah, besides that, you know, you don't really find it in black spaces, you know, it's one of those, oh, ke spots kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about where your love for cricket comes from, you know?
Yeah, I love that question so much, and I love answering that question. So cricket for me started at a very young age. I think at a tender age of 7 years old. I was part of Baker's mini cricket at primary school, but before primary school, because I am the only girl amongst three boys. Yes, so I'm from a big family. I'm the only girl in the family. So my brothers have had a huge influence in the kind of sports that I'm into and the kind of sports that I play, but also my dad. So in the house we would sit the entire day watching cricket, because people that know cricket know that it's a game that literally takes up the whole day for you to watch, right? There's one day international cricket that's got 50 overs, and then there's test cricket which has limitless overs, and you could literally watch it for 5 consecutive days. So
Goodness.
I yeah, it's hectic. So I would watch my dad literally sit the whole day watching the sport, and that is a way of us coming together and watching the sport on TV. And so I that's the family that I'm from, and so they influence me a lot on the kind of sports that I follow. And so for me, the cricket bug bit me more than the other sports that were available. And so yeah, that's how I got into cricket, that's how I got to love the game, that's how I got to play the game. And now, as God would have it, now I am behind the scenes, and I also stand in front of the camera talking about all things cricket. So it's an interesting journey for me, but it's been a good one.
Yeah.
Both bad, but it's been more good than bad for me.
Yeah, best of both worlds, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera. Like, what
Yeah.
more can a girl hope for, you know?
Right.
So you were in the corporate industry, you were in the corporate sector. What was the transition like from corporate, and then you went back to school, I believe, and then you went into media?
So directly after high school, right, I went to go work at ABSA, which was based in Johannesburg. It was the head offices, right? And I worked there for 4 years. And because it was the first time being introduced to learned a lot. I learned a lot in the cricket. I mean, in ABSA, and working as a corporate person. And then I moved into working for other companies within the investment banking sector. And I think for me, working for those companies kind of made me realize that I wasn't born to work in those sectors, and that I wanted to be in the media side of things. And I think when I was working at a company in Melrose Arch, BNP Paribas, that's when I decided to register at Boston Media House and start studying at Boston Media House. And the course that I had chosen was media studies. And so that I did part-time, so I would still work and study at the same time. And then there was a time when I was like, okay, no, I know I really want to go into the media side. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to continue being miserable at a company that I wasn't happy in. Because I'm one person that believes that life is too short to be stuck in a job, in a dead-end job that you know doesn't really fulfill you and makes you happy. So for me, I made a decision that nope, I'm going to fully pursue a career in media. And so the one thing that I did was get an agent that would help me to make that transition. And can I tell you that it wasn't the easiest transition, because you're from corporate, you don't know anything about the media and the entertainment space, and you have to go into this mode where you have to allow yourself to learn and expose yourself to things that you didn't know prior to you getting into the space. So it wasn't an easy transition, but it had to be done. It had to be done for my peace sake, for my purpose sake, and for my happiness sake.
Speaking about like an agent, how important is it when you get into media or when you get into entertainment, get an agent? Because a lot of people try to make it on their own and go for auditions on their own, but it's really hard getting those auditions, really hard tapping into the space. How important is getting an agent?
Yeah. For me, I'll say that I had Gano that represented me in the beginning, right, of my career. And I understood the importance of having an agent back then. But over the years, because sometimes you meet agents that don't really meet the kind of targets, lack of a better word, that you have for yourself, they won't be of any benefit to you. And you'll realize that the relationship doesn't correlate. And it's important for you to get an agent that really understands what your vision is. I remember the one time I told my agent that I wanted to get into cricket broadcasting and I wanted to be a cricket broadcaster. And she said to me that it's really difficult for anyone to get into that space.
Yeah, already telling you that, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. So
like,
tell you that instead of them motivating you to say, okay, let's work towards this, let's do A, B, and C. But instead, they're giving you a message that you wouldn't necessarily want to be hearing. And even if it may be the truth, but can you be of motivation towards me and my vision, right? So at the point I decided to say, okay, this relationship isn't working. Yes, an agent is important, but you need to have the right agent. That's number one. And for me, I didn't have the right agent at that time. And so at 2018, then I decided to just go on my own and just do my own hustling. Because when I was working in corporate, I understood and I learned the importance of networking. And I think that was one of my strongest points. I'm a great networker. I'm a person that doesn't mind if I see someone that I know is going to be of benefit to me. I will walk up to that person. I will introduce myself and I'll tell them how I would like them to help me, right? So I decided, and I don't mind sending CVs and emails and pestering people. I'm all about maximum exposure. I want you to see me. I want you to hear of me. I want you to know of me, right? And that's one thing I do, and I do it without any regret. So I decided to walk away from my agent, and then I started doing things on my own. So this is where 2018 comes, late of 2018 comes, I start opening up my own YouTube channel, because you have to remember, in the world that we live in, we have to use social media to our advantage, right?
Yeah, and how important was that? Like the transitioning from everything is now at your fingertips, you know, you literally Lesego to the world, because YouTube is not just confined to us here in South Africa and Europe, and it's worldwide. How important is it for you to reach a broader market and say, this is who I am, this is what I can offer, and you know, use me.
Yeah,
I'm here.
it's so important, because literally that is a platform where your next opportunity can come from, right? So like I said, so I then opened up my own YouTube channel, which opened me up to a whole entire world outside of South Africa, right? And a whole world of opportunities outside of South Africa. So for me, I then decided to open up my own YouTube channel, and then I then started focusing predominantly on cricket content when I opened this YouTube channel, because I knew what the vision was, right? I knew what the final product looked like, and I was doing something that I knew would lead me to that final product. So opened it up, focus on predominantly cricket. And what I then did was send a link to my channel to people in the cricket industry, right? I remember sending a link to one of my friends, Mbali, who was already in the industry. And I said to her, send it to someone at Cricket South Africa. They need to see the kind of work that I do, right? Either they bring me on board or they then introduce me to another opportunity, but they need to know of me. So she then sent the email to guys at CSA. One of them was impressed by me. And then he was like, actually, come to the office. I'd like to meet you. And literally, that's how it all started.
Wow.
That is how my journey as a cricket broadcaster started. And so from that opportunity from CSA, then it opened up another host of opportunities. So like you said, social media, man, it really does open your world up so much, like you'll never believe. And that's why we all need to take advantage of these platforms.
Yeah. And you mentioned like that you had to start doing this. You had to go to school, and you had to leave your job and start going to school. You had to leave your from school and start your YouTube channel. How important is it for you to start a project and to finish it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, what we do is that we live in our heads, right? We want to conceptualize this idea, right? And get lost. And we want it to be perfect. And one thing that we realize is if we never take that first step, we're not going to do anything. We're literally going to continue just having these ideas in our heads, you know. I know there's a quote that I've heard once about how many people have these amazing $1 million ideas, but what separates you from the next person is the one that actually continues to bring that idea into fruition, right? Because you'll never know the potential of the idea or of starting could lead up to. And so for me, I've always been a starter. And I remember, you know, it's so weird. A couple of weeks ago, my brother says to me, it's like, yo, I don't know anyone that loves to start things like you. You're a starter. You are a starter.
You just do it.
I was like,
your girl is here. Like, you must just sign you up and just, you know, do a collab because you just do it.
Right? Just like that. So he was like, you're a starter. And I was like, actually, you're right. I am a starter. I'm a firm believer in us starting. Whatever idea that we have, let's not get lost in perfecting the idea in our heads, or let's not get lost in what people will say when I start this new venture, or the backlash that I'm going to get. Because I remember the one thing that I struggled with in the beginning is, oh my goodness, I'm getting into the cricket space, which is male dominated. I don't know everything about the game. I don't know everything about the game. Maybe I might even get backlash for my lack of knowledge in certain areas. But I was just like, no, forget it. I will start and I will learn in the process. That's what I'm about. So you'll perfect in the journey.
Yeah, I love that so much. Yeah. Speaking of cricket being a male-dominated sport, what are some of the challenges and some of the misconceptions that you think that are revolving that? And what is it like being a woman in sport? Because that in itself is like, wow.
Mm. Yeah, I think one incident that I often think about is when I went to Wanderers Cricket Stadium, and I think it was my first day being a media manager in that space, and going to media managers or journalists, they have a certain area that they sit and work. So I remember being in that space for the first time, and I bumped into a white elderly gentleman. I won't say his name. And so one of the guys that I was sitting next to, he then decides to introduce me to this gentleman, and then he introduces me by a cricket broadcaster / commentator. And I remember the way this gentleman looked at me. He, like, you know, when someone is doubting your
condescending almost.
That condescending look, the look that says, you, my darling, when I, as a Black girl, you want to be in this space, I don't think there's room for you in this space, right? He didn't have to say it overtly. It was just the way that he was just looking at me that kind of said, okay, clearly he doesn't think I am capable or worthy of this position. So that on its own says a lot about the perception that men have towards women in the space, right? That we have to continually show that we are worthy to be in the space, and that we are credible enough to be in the space. Even certain conversations that I have with people in the industry, like sometimes they just don't take you serious. There was one particular guy that asked me, how did I get the position that I got at CSA? I was like, what do you even mean? Like, I applied for it. So it's like, no, do you know anyone there? I'm like, no, I don't know any. I applied for that position, you know? So it's often hard.
You got in there with your own merit, you know, on merit, on the work that you've done. And, you know, it didn't just come down to one moment. You actually went to school for it. You know, you've been watching cricket all your life. So I guess those are some of the misconceptions.
I love you so much, because that's exactly what I was thinking in that moment in time. I was thinking to myself, this man doesn't even realize he's insulting me. That he really just walked up to me and asked me, how did I get a position? I was like, dude, if you knew my story, you would understand that cricket is my life. You know? How
that is why we are here and under construction. We're telling her story, Lesego Pooe, talking about how she got into media managing Cricket SA. That is insane. That is such a huge achievement. And we really look up to you. You are the people that are at the forefront. You know, you are holding the baton, and it's absolutely amazing. We love your work. Now, how does a day look like in the media manager? You know, what does a day look like in your position?
So I always say that I live the most coolest, awesome. Like, sometimes I get paid to just sit at home. I'm kidding. I'm joking. No, so I'm for those that don't know, I'm a contracted media manager, right? And also I'm a freelance cricket broadcaster. So so my schedule works around the availability of the work that is available, right? So quite recently I got to do the Lions Awards, and I think for me those are moments and opportunities that are presented to me that you only dream of. And when those opportunities come your way, you need to pinch yourself to kind of realize that, wait, is this my life? This is the life that I'm living, you know? And so my day, my the life, or my day rather, is not as hectic as you would imagine, where like I'm waking up and I'm flying down to Cape Town to do no. There are those moments.
It's Durban, and the day after PE.
No. I wish it was like that, but it isn't. But you get to travel here and there. I get to work with the Momentum Proteas women. I get to work with CSA. They get to pull me in for things like the under-19 ICC World Cup. Worked in Kimberley for that. Met amazing people. International experience. When those opportunities come, like you just are so happy. And then there are moments where it's quiet time because the cricket season isn't happening anymore and it's closed, and I get to just sit home and plan what I'm doing in the next season. So it's so balanced. It's so balanced. Like, I'm happy about the fact that I don't have to wake up every single morning and go to work and then come back at 5. Do you know how sometimes life, if you're not made for it, you will be miserable. So for me, I'm in a good space, and this is just, this is how my life looks like.
Yeah, we absolutely love it. We love it. Okay, let's go. What is next from you? What can we expect from you? Where can we find you?
What is next for me? Wow. And
Yes.
I actually want to share one point about what is next. Sometimes there are opportunities that we hold on to, that we are desperately seeking, right? And sometimes those opportunities don't come at a time where you're desperate for them. And the reason why I say that is because literally a month ago, I had applied to be part of an ICC all-female program. And it's a program where, and for those that don't know what the ICC is, it's the International Cricket Council. This is the highest cricket governing body in the world, right? And they had an opportunity for 50 young females in the cricket space to come into the ICC and be mentored and be given opportunities. I had applied for that and I did not get that opportunity. And I was the most heartbroken person ever.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, no, man, this opportunity should be for me. Like, I've prepared for this opportunity. Everything that I am speaks to me getting this opportunity. And I didn't get it. And I remember just thinking to myself, you know what, even if you don't get an opportunity in the moment in which you had expected to get it, but it's okay. You can wait a couple of more months because that opportunity will present itself next year and the year after that, right? So I just wanted to speak on how certain things don't come at a moment that you expect them to come, and that it's okay, because visions take time to unfold, but we have to be so strengthened in the process that we won't be shaken by some of the obstacles that come away. We speak about being under construction, right? That the journey of being under construction is a lifelong journey, right? And we have to be able to really be fully prepared for the journey that is ahead of us. And so that's just one point I wanted to make. But what is next? But what is next for me? Yeah, I'll be working with the Lions. Lions is a cricket union that is, CGL is the cricket union in Gauteng, and the Imperial Lions is the cricket side of things, cricket team in Johannesburg, and I'll be working with them, doing some lovely TV content and interviewing some players. And
I was asking that question with a strategy because I saw your post on Facebook and you were like brewing something special, and I thought we would get the lowdown here on Under Construction.
yeah. So I'll get to that as well. So the Lions is my home, is my cricket home, right? It's a franchise that I've called home, and I'm always happy to do work for them. And so I'll be working with them in the next couple of months, just creating some good content as far as Lions cricket is concerned. But outside of that post that you saw on social media is there is a 13-part episode that I shot with CSA, where I get to interview Momentum Protea players about their journey in cricket. So this is me sitting with.
Wow. That is
So
absolutely amazing. You heard it here first under construction SA.
no, but
We
you did.
told
This is
you.
actually the
We
first-
got no, we are claiming it.
No, but it is the first time I'm speaking about it. It really is
Yeah.
the first thing about it. Because I think we're gonna be having a launch in the next month. So it is the first time I'm speaking about it. So it's an exclusive. Yeah, so I'll be having it's a 13-part series, or rather interviews, where I chat to Momentum Protea players about their journey in cricket and some of the highs and lows that they have experienced, and I literally sitting next to the players, and it was such a great chat because I really got to uncover what it's like to be a Momentum Protea player, and just how incredibly amazing that journey is for the players. So it was great, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. I'm so nervous to put my content out there because I often
Don't
scrutinize
you
my
dare
work.
be nervous, because you are absolutely amazing. And we can see the growth, we can see the growth. It is there, it is evident. And we're super excited to just see more from you, to celebrate your milestones with you. And yeah, man, export you and bring you right back to South Africa. Before we go, right, there's this game that we play here on Under Construction SA. Where are you right now in life, right? You have to tell us in a song which song depicts where you are right now in life. And I could literally answer that question for you. All I do is win, 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 no matter
No
what.
matter
That's
what.
Lesego. Yes, but you're not allowed to use that song. So you have to use your own song. Where is it that you feel that, like, which song depicts where you are? I wanna know what I think.
You're putting me on the spot. You
Yes,
know what
that is the point.
you know what my mind is doing? My mind is like going crazy, trying to go into the archives and trying to remember what's the latest I listened to. Should I choose an amapiano song? Should I choose a gospel song? Should I choose like an R&B? Like, I wow, man. Geez. I cannot think of a song, and I
You
really
can.
want.
You can think of an emotion. Which songs, like, would you usually play on days that you're winning, on days that you come back from work, or something that you play back on your way to home, and you're like, yeah, meh.
Wow. And the thing is, ke mamela gospel gagolo wa bona. So
Hey, oh, it's okay. That is your truth. Live it. We love it.
there's a song that, oh man, there's a song by Ngozole. And not the first part of the song. It's titled My Blessing. It's titled My Blessing. I don't know if you know that song. And it's not the first part of the song, because the part of the song, the first part is so sad. That first part of the song is so sad, and yeah, depressed part too. So search for the song. It's titled really? My Blessing. And then but there's a second part of the song that speaks about you getting a breakthrough. So the first part talks about there's troubles all around me, and nothing seems to be going right, or something like that. But and then that song transitions, and then the song transitions into talking about you getting your breakthrough, and that getting this blessing, and that you're a blessing, and that life is a blessing, and that you're getting it and moving into a life of a breakthrough. Literally, that's what it is. Because and talking particularly about my journey in cricket and the journey of self-actualization, for me, that song speaks about having gone through a season where it's literally non-existent, nothing is happening, it's tov bo. I'm using the most Christian term ever, but you know how in the beginning there was nothing, the world was
Dry
formless,
bones.
tov bo, dude. Life was like that in the beginning, and then it goes through a transition where there is light, and you get into a season where there is a breakthrough, and the blessings just fall on your life. Right now, I'm living a life where there is a continual life of breakthrough, where God is just continually showing me what a faithful God He is, and that whatever work that you put in, that He will meet you right there, and He will give you everything that you need, and those opportunities that you're so desperate for and that you're continually praying for, He will give them to you, because He's a faithful Father, you know. And so for me, I'm just living a life of breakthrough, continual breakthrough. So that song was a blessing. Listen to it.
We have it here. But you must sing it. I'm joking.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to sing it. You off the hook. I think that explanation and just where you are right now, how you just having a breakthrough moment. You're just having a moment where you're like, this is it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much for chatting to us and opening up and being so vulnerable with us, because we got to know you. And I actually love you. I know it's weird, but I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in here on Under Construction SA. Be sure to subscribe and like and watch all of the videos, and tell your friends, friends, and share our videos as well. It is an absolute pleasure. We were talking to Lesego Pooe from me, Miss Mitty. I'm signing out until we meet again on
Thank you.
Instagram.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was such a great conversation.